to see what the postman brought today. Local gossip, all of it uninteresting. Your order from Barnes' bookshop has arrived, Doctor.
Barnes insists on delivering the books to our door, even though we could easily walk to his shop. That's good
Another
service.
letter from Werner. I never reply, but they keep coming. I don't see the Strand. Where is it?
Pardon me?
I am on the precipice of uncovering a... A cactus spine. If it gets in your skin, it's awfully tricky to remove, and when laced with poison, the perfect assassination tool. You were mistaken, Dr. Watson. The paper was indeed dirtied, but not how you implied. It's potting soil. See, Watson? The conspiracy is real. Someone tried to poison me.
Poison? You? That's madness.
Get the Strand! Get your copy of the Strand here! Sorry, Mr. Holmes. I just sold my last paper.
Blast. Then why are you still here?
Boss pays by the hour. No sense in returning.
You're a bright child. I presume you see everything that goes on around here? Did you see what he was up to?
Nah, not really.
Which way did he go?
Not sure. I was distracted by customers.
Can you describe the man you saw?
He was carrying a lot of books.
All right. You earned your shilling. That'll be all.
Thanks, mister. Get the Strand!
From that Mr.
Copy of the
Holmes'
Strand
murder?
here.
Yes, Barnes has his quirks, but he also has his scruples.
Not every pawn knows it's part of a game. Mr. Barnes, a word. Ah, for goodness sake.
Who's got...
Barnes doesn't seem like himself. Why is he acting this way?
You're asking the right questions, Doctor. Let's find a way to coax him out. The ladder is broken, recently, judging by the freshness of the wood. Basics of cryptoanalysis, cryptography in Egypt. Piers Barnes has an interesting hobby. An improvised stand, but it does make the flowers more visible. In the language of Mycroft's secret agents, it's a sign. Dried flowers are replaced when the job is done. I wonder who the recipient is. The finest view London has to offer. Encouraging people to stop and smell the roses?
Our national emblem. God save the Queen.
It must take patience and care to produce a bloom so beautiful.
I imagine so. I merely sell them.
Familiar spine? Is this what I found in my dustbin? The pot is damaged. The blow was severe, but softened by something.
Anything tickle your fancy, Mr. Holmes?
My condolences, Mrs. Fleming.
Mr. Holmes?
Your husband's death. You're clearly still in... One of these things is not like the other.
Come again?
What do you make of the flowers in Barnes' shop window?
Well, they could use a bit of...
Are you familiar with Mr. Barnes?
Yes. No, not really. Well...
I think perhaps I have been chasing shadows.
Do not despair, Mr. Holmes. Even the best of us make mistakes. We better tell Mr. Barnes what we've learned.
Mr. Barnes, I know what you did, and I know why you did it.
I'm sorry, Mr. Holmes.
You ordered a cactus from the plant catalogue and then left it... I couldn't read this morning's edition of The Strand.
Barnes, it's Dr. Watson. Rest assured we are not interested in...
As in most things in life, truth is the answer. Cease with the abstruse signals and anonymous gift. What is the worst that can happen? She rejects you, and you are freed from this...
That... Yes, you're...
So, at last, we return to the matter of the paper. Come, Dr. Watson. Let us put this matter behind us.
Farewell, Mr. Barnes. I hope to hear good news about...
Well, that was an utter waste of time.
An assassination did seem...
Not much further now.
Is this lousy attitude of yours because of my altercation with Inspector...
Have there been other disappearances lately?
Of course.
Why has the police department decided not to...
Now, I must be off.
Best of luck in your search.
You...
Tell me about Kimahir.
He's foreign.
When did you last see your servant?
Kimmy here, Norman.
May I see your servant's bedroom?
His shack isn't...
Is there any reason Kimahir may have left? Did Kimahir make off with anything of value? I take it this is the first time Kimahir has... All right, Captain. I think I have enough to get started. We shall first... Chewing tobacco. A shoe print, roughly size 11, with a worn-out sole. These are a workman's boots. Looks like a knee print. Someone knelt here. The amount of chewing tobacco suggests they were waiting a while.
Amazing, Mr. Holmes. To read the ground like an open book.
This lock is quite unusual. It appears that the key should be bent to the right. A scrap of Hessian. These were sturdy boxes. It would have required a serious blow to break them. Impressive. The sack of grain retained the shape of an impact. Someone hit their head here. A small navy spyglass. No air coming through it. Button chops, the remains of a meal. Heavy chemical odour. Lend me your nose, Doctor.
Ah, I'll never forget that smell after my time in Afghanistan. That's an opioid.
The ashes are long since cold. A Maori nose flute. Ngurus, they're called. Clothes made of Hessian. Is Stenwick really so miserly? Is this a Taniwha, a Maori water spirit, or something else?
Either way, it's giving me chills.
The rag reeks of smoke. Someone plugged the chimney. I came across a pile of Hessian clothes in the shack. Are they Kimahir's?
Yes, I had to give him some.
Is this spyglass familiar?
I don't recognize it.
Could it be Kimahir's? The door to your garden has an interesting lock.
Yes.
Has Kimahir ever indulged in tobacco?
No. The...
Do you happen to know Kimahir's shoe size?
I wouldn't have the...
Could have left these tracks. They seem fresh. Someone moved a cart to this spot and then took it elsewhere. Can't see it anywhere in the garden. Surveilling from afar, the intruder waited for a window of opportunity. When Kimahir went to sleep, the man crept up to the shack and slipped narcotics down the chimney pipe, then blocked it with a cloth. Kimahir inhaled the sedative and fell into a deep sleep. The intruder tried to move him, but the man was heavier than expected. The intruder fell on the sack and dropped his spyglass. In order to transport the servant, he had to use the cart. The final challenge was opening the garden door. Luckily for our intruder, Kimahir had the key in his shack.
Remarkable. It makes total sense.
You'd best have found something by now, gentlemen.
I found the residue of narcotics in Kimahir's... I fear that someone may have spied upon Kimahir. You said that you checked the shack earlier. Did you know... I won't keep you in suspense any longer, Captain. Kimahir...
The point is, Captain...
Roy Soulsby. Could that be the name of our man? A strange substance. I have my suspicions based on the colour and consistency, But would you care to hazard a guess, Doctor?
Well, it's odorless, but from the way it absorbs water, I'd say saltpeter.
Then we're sturdy rope, professionally tied in a Portuguese bowline. This knot is often used by sailors to create a boat. Wheels picked up grass along the way. Kimahir's cart, I gather. A large pile of horse droppings. Many cigarette butts. Someone stood here for hours. There was a cab waiting here. Our abductor slipped in and then off into the night. The strand proved not so useless after all. The saltpeter accident. Doctor, do you recall?
The Port of London, of course. The footwear, the spyglass.
Indeed. We shall need to take a cab there. Where to, Gav? The Port of London, please. I will show you where to stop.
Oh, hardly a reputable establishment.
I've seen worse. Greetings, miss. I'm hoping you can help us.
Wait.
Your clothes are already tight, and soon they won't fit at all. In a manner of speaking.
He's not. He merely has the...
My colleague and I are seeking a burly man, above average height, with work. I heard tell of a recent explosion in the port. What do you know about this poster?
A foreign woman asked to put it up. She's plastered the...
Are you familiar with a Roy Soulsby?
Roy's...
Excuse me, just one question.
I think I can help you.
Hello, lad. Is this where I may find Dea? I want to speak to Dea. Is she around? Where did you last see Girves?
He was...
Do you still have the necklace that Soulsby gave? How would you describe this Soulsby?
He was...
Don't go anywhere. This cheap pendant looks like silver, but it's only made of tin. No surprise the boy couldn't sell it.
I miss Gervais. Do you think he's okay?
Could you help me?
I think I can help you.
Not in the mood, mate. Shoo!
Pardon me, sir. I am looking for Roy...
Not a...
Now, what makes you think I would inquire about missing people? You say we are not the first to ask you about... And this woman can be found?
No clue.
Now, where was I? Have you seen this before?
My card? Where did you...
I have been told that you hired Dea's son, Gervais, right before he vanished. Have you ever heard of a man with a metallic eye?
I've seen it.
I shudder to ask, but where does one find a
What are you gawping at?
Mr. Soulsby, you know more than you're letting on. A man named Dirty Summers was involved in some recent... Your calling card was found at the crime scene. That's enough to make you a suspect. It's true. And that's before mentioning your gold watch.
All right, stop. Look, it's not as it seems.
Why do I have the feeling that you know more about Dirty Summers than you're letting on?
I have nothing more to add, sir.
Enough. I have hard evidence that Summers... A customs officer, Roy Soulsby, testified that Summers was a regular here. If the lives of the missing do not concern you, then I would urge you to think about your
Are you threatening me?
Many people are missing, and the main suspect... Now, spare yourself the trouble and tell me all you know. £5. That won't go far. Strange symbols. I don't recognize them. What did you see of Summers' work here? He was recruited... planks were broken with force.
Really, Holmes, this ought to be beneath you.
As my brother would say, it is for the greater good. The scratches are fresh, left by something metallic. There are a couple of marks on this end. Mould. That's why you don't leave sailcloth lying out. Good quality, but torn in many spots. Well oiled and well maintained. Fit for a crank. A hidden passage, just as I expected. Wait here, Watson, and keep an eye on the doors. I'll scout the premises.
Will do. Be careful down there.
Wait, what's happening? What is this place? Where am I? Strangely cold. Something is missing. This cannot have been under the port of London all along, is it? Phew, I didn't die. Is it? My heart, be calm. Now I am somewhere else. It's harder to breathe here. What is that? Oh, no! This is revolting. Head is already spinning. When will this end? The stench.
Oh, that is truly revolting.
Did I get out?
What is it, Holmes?
Watson!
Holmes, where are you? Holmes. Holmes. Are you all right?
Did you hear that, Watson?
I hear you.
Kianak, Fhtagn, Lebumna, Siaha, Inguft. Finglui, Magranafa, Cthulhu, Rilia, Waganagal, Fhtagn.
What on earth?
How is that possible?
His abdomen is severely bloated. Cyanosis of the lips, marks on the neck. This man was strangled. It seems made for simple experiments. I wager they could not afford a better set. This box contained a narcotic substance, much like the one in Kimihir's brazier. Black Edelweiss Institute, established 17-something. At least 24 pendants, all identical and made of tin. Someone... I've never seen a pattern like this before. Old blood stains. These clothes were crudely cut off someone. An American, judging by the style. Fine rope work, cut by a finer blade. Someone used mud to draw a cross in a rectangle. Why? Looks like the scribbling of madmen. A small bloodstain, but not serious. Deep scratches left in a frenzy. Strength it would take to carry this crate, let alone break it. these clothes are missing buttons. They were forcefully removed. Dumpra, a staple of lecturemen's attire in Nepal, gathered from dozens of people at the very least. Many people were brought to this place. Their abductors stripped off their clothes and discarded them in a pile. The prisoners were kept in a soporific trance by the use of narcotics. A few tried to resist, but alas, in vain. After a few days, everyone was stuffed in a crate and sent elsewhere. Only one captive was left behind. He was strangled to death on this altar.
What the hell is happening, Holmes? Please tell me we found all we needed to, Holmes.
Dr. Watson, how does a trip to Switzerland sound to you?
It sounds Salutations, madam. I am Dr. John Watson. At their earliest convenience, yes.
Wait here, bitte. Mr. and Mrs. Bronson, your girl has made remarkable...
That man... Well, the real aim...
No. In my line of work, it can't wait.
Herr Colby, from Northwood Agency.
Now, let's not resort... This sedative worked faster than I expected. Perhaps I ought to train myself. Build up a tolerance. There's the guest room. I wonder if Watson was able to speak to Gygax. Locked. I suppose the reception will be guarded anyway. Darn. No way I can get past him without being noticed. Raw materials used to formulate medicine. Any chemist would envy the quality of this equipment. The final product, ready to cure madness, or to push one deeper into its grasp. With this equipment, they can create any type of medication. Very sturdy. I might borrow it.
What was that? Is someone there? You there! I command you to free me at once.
I'm not.
My heart is pierced by Cupid. I disdain all glittering gold. There is nothing can console me but my jolly sailor bold.
John Sallow, the Tulpa phenomenon. I'm somewhat of an expert already. Tubes of varying diameters. Interesting. A certificate of appreciation from the municipal councillor to Professor Becker for contributions to the development of medicine in Interlaken. A simple toolbox, yet capable of repairing anything. Looks like it's still operational. This photo was damaged, seemingly by oil. I can make out the names listed here. Cooking grease. Is this the kitchen dumbwaiter? This should suffice.
I'm sure I heard some.
This should be enough to avoid unwanted attention, at least from a distance. Manufactured and packaged here. This is the same narcotic substance that we found in London.
Go away, or I will tear your lips from your skull with my fist!
So you're Heidi. I didn't realize I was on haunted doll watch. Good lord, how unsettling. The damage seems intentional. Fabric burnt in the furnace. A jalabia, a traditional garment from northern Africa.
I will make them pay for what they did to Heidi.
I believe I have found your friend.
Heidi!
Tell me all you know about those funny-talking... Professor Gygax seems to rule this facility. How did you end up in Block B? Have you ever met Professor Becker?
I remember...
I shall leave you two to get reacquainted. An orthodox reliquary commonly found in Eastern Europe, now in a cell halfway up the Alps. So this is how they kept the prisoners docile and harmless. This stretcher was disinfected frequently. These are the same crates we found in London. I should take a closer look. I doubt that one could survive such a journey with this little water. Dirt and sweat. They were locked in here for days, judging by the smell. The kidnappers even provided airflow. How generous. This is the same design as the one from London. This trip was prolonged and perilous. A bottle this sturdy doesn't break by accident. Substantial blood loss. One poor soul found another way out. The stamp on this crate confirms it came from America. That's quite a distance to travel. doors can be opened for deliveries. Carriages were backed through these doors, and they began to unload their cargo in secret. Next, the crates were opened, freeing their passengers. Not everyone survived the journey. The dirty, exhausted, and dehydrated prisoners were then herded into cells. But all the cells are now empty, and I have not located a morgue. Time to find Hell's Door. Scratches. Something has been moved through here. This seems to be a locking mechanism. The whole thing must be a door.
I will make them pay for what they did to Heidi.
I found Hell's Door, the one that made the foreigners silent. Leave it with me, Gerda. Garments of several dozen people at least. Will this help fix your friend?
Give it to me.
How is she feeling? Heidi, there are things I need some clarity on.
Ask if you dare, but if I get bored, there will be consequences.
I found Hell's Door, but it's locked. Is there a way to get in?
Hell's Door? Never heard of it.
That's not true. You, Gerda, told me that help... Professor Gygax hurt you repeatedly, scarred your body. But the key, Heidi, the key to Hell's Door is critical to...
Perhaps I should take this. For all I hope it won't be needed. Did a child make these?
Ah, Dr. Watson. Just the man.
I think once a soldier, always a soldier. For all I wish to help others, part of me changed. So when I read about the Black Edelweiss and your work on the heat, I was simply admiring your office, Professor.
Was my conversation boring you?
No, not at all. I merely... Photograph seems recent. A commemorative photo album. Been a while since I've been in one of these. You are Mr. Wolf, am I right? Oh, hell. Dear Lord, what did Gygax do to you? Hello again. You won't remember me, but we've met... Dear Professor Gygax, I bitterly regret you are not, as you so claimed, the few... And by the time you make it to my cell, the police will already know... One of the patients asked me to deliver this note. It's for Professor... Close, but I don't think this is the key. This is too small to be what Holmes asked for. An Edelweiss relief about 2 inches in diameter. This must be what Holmes was after.
The writing is mostly gone. Phonetic symbols, perhaps. A wax cylinder. There is something recorded on it. The tooth of an adult male, likely lost in a beating. Only a couple of days old. The inside of the cuff is worn. It's been used often.
Oh, the spell.
Judging by the remnants of blood and flesh, these instruments were used for dismemberment. Dear God, is that body parts? Utterly inhuman. Looks as if it's been recently used. Dynamo machine. Provides electrical stimulation for the person in the chair. Full grain leather straps. impossible to escape. A very professional brain dissection. The light of the abyss is the light from the abyss. Get out of my head! A hydraulic elevator? How ingenious. Watson?
Holmes?
What do you still do? The pencil is buried deep all the way to the brain. Instant death. No traces of blood on her clothes. Must have got on her white overcoat. The patients here wear the same robes. Heidi, how did it end up here?
We'd better inform the local police about this.
You're right, Watson. But first, we need to determine where our case goes next. We've got what we needed, Watson. This conspiracy reaches further than we thought. I don't... Black opals being auctioned at the banking house of E.W. Gray.
Mr. Frank Barnaby, right? Auction.
In the flesh. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Well, hold up. Written invitation first.
Holmes, over here. Any luck?
None. They're holding an auction.
Who?
Frank Barnaby, most. Likely a local.
And do you think Mr. Barnaby would be happy to share his invitation?
Let us first find him, then we can see if he is the generous type. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I'm sorry. You should search for answers somewhere else.
How marvelous, Holmes. A city within a city.
Indeed. Those lanterns are dead. Can you satisfy my curiosity?
I've heard about that. Let me tell you.
Rather unassuming for a jewellery store.
Damn, he at it again. Barnaby still
Locked.
owes you.
No one's here.
If he can't pay in greenbacks, he'll pay in blood.
Is this familiar to you?
I'm bone tired, but yeah, I'll help you.
This place. There's a Spartan charm, does it not?
It does. My soul will always yearn for London's gloom, but it reminds me of Cordona in a nice... Barnaby, unconscious but with his eyes open. Look, Watson, the two of you are just alike.
Oh, great. So I look like a haggard alcoholic. Eureka! What have you got?
An idea. First, we'll need Mr. Barnaby's clothes.
Holmes.
Watson, time is of the essence. You will go to the bank.
Holmes, must we really indulge in this farce?
It worked in Switzerland, didn't it?
Sure, if you redefine the word worked.
Where's my cash, Frank? In the bartender's tip jar? Where's the money, Barnaby?
I'll wait here so as not to arouse suspicion.
Mr. Barnaby.
Right you are.
Heavens, I never seen gems so big.
I simply must have...
This might be useful. I'll make a note.
Morning, sir, and welcome to the E.W. Gray Banking House.
Forgive my curiosity, but... these gems are rather curious. What can you... It doesn't say where these stones came from. No.
You old dog, Barnaby.
Of course I know you, Sheriff.
Good. Now, while I have you.
I told you, Holmes. I told you it was a bad plan. The sheriff saw right through me. He knew who I was from the start. Extort... me
Why
for
bother
every
changing
coin
it?
I had.
Bah, all that matters is what you learned about the gems.
I shan't discuss it while still wearing that blighter's clothes. I'm going back to the boat to get changed.
No. No! Was that your luggage again? I don't understand. We just got it back in order.
Oh, bollocks. Now our clothes are in the bloomin' water.
It was like the luggage had legs of its own. Oh, Mr. Pratchett will have my head.
I ain't sure what you did to the sheriff, but it must have been something...
John, I didn't mean to be rude. I've just had a difficult day, miss.
This Mr. Barnaby is proving rather useful. Perhaps you're not so different after all.
One more word, Holmes, and I'll hand you over to the sheriff.
Sorry, was that John talking or Frank?
Oh, go annoy someone else while I visit the nymph.
Well, look at you. All dressed up.
Ah, forgive me, Watson. The difference is plain as day. What a remarkable transformation from Barnaby.
If we're critiquing wardrobes, Holmes, maybe you can explain why you used to roll just one sleeve up. Did you get bored halfway through?
Tocqueville? Lafayette! Hush now.
Can I ask you a question?
I've heard about that. Let me tell you. Got a spot in mind?
French Quarter, and get us there fast. You know, Watson, the opulent mansions and stifling heat remind me of my time in the Mediterranean.
Cortona does sound rather magical. Do you think you shall ever return?
I don't know. That place was home to some of my greatest memories and some of my lowest moments.
Lord help me.
Excuse me, miss. Are you all right? What is your name?
You.
I rather wish my lockpicks had not been lost in the river.
Along with all our clothes, books, tea.
This must be the key to the stables. Poor animal has been suffering for days.
It's dehydrated, Holmes. Without water, it would die.
Mr. Arneson's cab is still here. This might be useful.
At least that's one life saved.
There's blood here.
Ah! Do you smell that, Holmes? Something bad happened here.
I know. Be prepared for anything. Watson, would you please lend me your medical expertise?
I'll do my best. An enormous blow shattered her ribcage. Blooded, broken nails. The poor woman tried to put up a fight. Extremely sharp and deadly. A wound like this could only be dealt by a man of incredible strength.
And cruelty. Tea for two. An odd glimpse of normalcy amid the horror. A used kitchen towel. Few drops of blood, but not from a mortal wound. The candle was burning when it fell. A trail of wax leads to the door. Someone smaller walked over these boot prints. Burnt papers, now completely unreadable. Someone was bleeding, but it doesn't look lethal. I will need your help one more time, Doctor.
His corneas are already clouded. A deep stab reached the man's heart. Clean edges suggest a sharp blade, but the wound is too wide for an ordinary knife. The hand can bend freely. Rigor mortis has passed. Hay on his trousers suggests a gardener or groom. This man has been dead for a week, the result of a sharp object piercing his heart.
You are mostly right, but I would bet he died 5 days ago. Heat and humidity will have accelerated the decomposition. Mr. Arneson with his prey. The bent end of this candlestick has blood on it. Note the blade, Watson.
A curved dagger, probably of Persian or Indian origin. 9 or 10 inches, I'd say.
Arneson and Davy seem to have got along well. He looks more like a son than a servant. Arneson and Davy, 1881. Fauna of Louisiana. Full of things that bite, no doubt. New Pied Piper. Foreigners missing in New Orleans. A dull book about local geology. Even I'd struggle. A dashing portrait of Mr. Arneson. An intruder entered through the back door at night, leaving mud traces in the hallway. Without being noticed, they picked up a candlestick and struck the man in the chair from behind. In the kitchen, two people were drinking tea, the workman and cook. They were startled by the noise of a falling body and went to investigate the parlor. The workman tried to subdue the intruder, but was stabbed by the attacker's knife. Judging by the wound, it was a curved blade. The cook panicked and fled back to the kitchen. The intruder followed, but since their blade was stuck in the workman, they used the meat cleaver on the table to kill her. Someone smaller arrived and discovered the carnage. They dropped the candlestick in horror and ran for safety to a room down the hallway. Meanwhile, the intruder returned to his first victim and dragged their stunned body away from the fireplace and out into the garden. Size 10, the owner's footprints were shallow. Size 10, the heels were sinking into the ground. Look here, Doctor. 2 sets of footprints left by the same person, yet they vary in depth. What do you conclude?
Perhaps they arrived empty-handed.
More boot prints.
Left, carrying something heavy.
Precisely. I'll make a detective of you yet, Watson. More boot prints. Luxurious shoes, size 9. These fingers were severed with a single clean stroke, but I don't see the thumb. Look, Watson, animal prints. I wonder what kind. Boots, size 10. A scrap of silk, soft and elegant.
Ligature marks on her neck. There'll be a bruise, but she should be okay.
Doctor, Watson, speak to me. How is she?
We were just in time, Holmes. You lay...
If my deductions are correct, Davy
Davy! Oh, come here, you! Thanks, sir.
Davy seems in good health. The bruise is a remnant of that.
Let's take a closer look. These should come in handy. The scene is impossible, unnatural, but also familiar. Dense and disturbing notes. It's hard to follow. A foreigner's clothes, by the looks of things from the Near East. A black opal, cut and polished, easy to sell. Arneson's signet ring, as we saw in his portrait. My princess, my love, my heart. Fitting words. Well, isn't that interesting? Hello again, Lucy. Davy, we know that Ashmat is responsible for what...
Got a spot in mind.
New Orleans port, and quickly.
Innocents slaughtered, a woman lynched, a boy forever traumatized. I fear we've crossed the Rubicon, Holmes.
Davy is resilient, much like Eula. He will overcome this.
You're right, but I worry this portends far worse for us. What have we got ourselves into, Holmes?
Johnny boy, so how was it with Champagne?
Most enlightened.
Lucy, we only mean to help. No word of the matter. The man in this letter seemed ready to declare his feelings for you. This photo of you and Mr. Arneson suggests the feelings... Arneson definitely paid for a ring in your... The facts are clear. You know Mr. Arneson and perhaps even... Hello again, and thank you. Your last tip proved extremely useful. Wouldn't you know it, I came across a bottle of your namesake. One last favor. The boat that we came on is to leave to...
Holmes, do you believe the sheriff? That we won't escape?
One cannot be hurt by superstition, Watson.
Look, Holmes! Fireflies!
rowing like a professional, Watson.
University of London Boat Club. Silver medalist in 74. What was that, Holmes?
Whatever, or whoever it was, we should ready ourselves. Am I hearing drums?
Drums in the bayou? Holmes, I think I heard something swim underneath our boat.
Probably just a rotten log.
Did you hear that, Holmes? What do you see?
A shadow. Nothing more.
If you told me when I binned your paper that we'd end up fleeing the law in a rowboat through the Louisiana Bayou...
I dare say you would have hardly been surprised.
Almost suffocating. The stench of death. All too familiar now.
Careful of the gators, Watson. It is stupidity rather than courage to refuse to recognize danger when it is close upon you.
Holmes, hand me the rifle.
Watson, stay calm, but be quick. An alligator has noticed us.
That's vicious.
That's nature, Watson. Let's try not to annoy them. That pier looks promising over there, Watson.
We're approaching the heart of darkness. This place gives me the shivers, despite the muggy night.
Ugh, the smell of burning flesh, just horrific.
Keep away from it, focus on our task, so we may soon leave all this behind.
Days old and rotten. Damp and mouldy hay. The prisoners were kept like animals, slowly deteriorating under the gruesome treatment. The wood is swamp cypress, endemic to the area. The blood is dry. The axe has not been used for some time. A simple rope. This is how those poor people were crucified. The initials EA are embroidered with silk thread. The prisoners' clothes tossed aside. A heavy weight scored impressions in the ground 1 inch deep. Thankfully, it's not arneson. The hand tied here was bleeding in 4 places. This had to have been arneson. That's a lot of blood, but probably not enough to be fatal. Both ends of the rope were cut cleanly. The captive was dragged through hell. This is not arneson, just another unfortunate soul. Thankfully, arneson isn't among the dead. The tracks lead behind the stone slab. Only this indentation was spared from blood. Blood was poured over someone, leaving a gruesome silhouette. Bowls filled with blood. A worn blade, but clean and without blood. Sunken heels, the result of dragging a heavy body. The victim's left hand clawed at the soil. The bloody handprint on this stone lacks 4 fingers. Arneson was held captive in this cage until his abductors tied him to a cross and dragged him to the bonfire. Arneson was left hanging here for a while before being freed and led to the altar. At the altar, Arneson's captors performed a ritual on him and poured blood over his head. With Arneson now prepared, he was escorted to the sealed entrance. They used the mechanism with an indentation to open the passage. Heavy and covered in blood.
Damn it. Something is wrong with my lantern. Give me a minute.
I won't wait for you. I'm going in.
Woe betide those who take it. Walk away. Let the unknown be.
That's human skin and still warm. What's happening? Deja vu, and not in a pleasant way. And now, axes? What on earth for? Now it is glowing, but why? There's that glow again. hope that was all. I can't take anymore.
At last, the lantern's working again. Holmes, I'm coming. Holmes? What are you doing? Sitting...
The unknown, beckoning, great one, lightning!
I should examine him before he has another seizure. Blunt trauma to the cranium, dilated pupils, lips moving without a sound. Cold sweat. 3 ribs fractured. Severed fingers, the wounds are inflamed. Pulse is racing, 110 beats a minute. Arneson is delirious after all he's endured. We can't get him to the boat in a state like that. It's dangerous to us and him. Some kind of amanita mushroom. Extremely poisonous. Pokeweed berries, though they appear harmless, the whole plant is lethal. Pharmacopoeia, listing drugs, effects, and directions for you. Odorless, watery, and hard to identify. Salvia divinorum. Provokes visual hallucinations. This is Dwale, induces sleep and relaxation. A gluey decoction. The smell is herby but sharp. It appears burnt, judging by the color. This should help soothe Arneson.
I see.
I need some fresh air.
Yes, please go. I'll be right behind you with Arneson. Perhaps you can prepare the boat.
Bon Dieu! Still among the living.
We are.
Get the strand, get the true fact. Cool. Thank you, sir.
It has been a while, Barnes.
Dr. Watson.
Last time we met, you mentioned your knack for translating. Barnes, does Stevenson's guiding light mean anything? You take care. Say, do you possess coastal maps of Scotland?
Indeed.
You take care.
Doctor! Look what I just found.
Barnes, have you finished with the book?
Yes. I've written out a translation of the section you wanted. It, puts the grim in grimoire.
I thought as much.
Long story short, it details macabre rituals, death, leviathans, and the apocalypse. See for yourself. I must ask you to leave the book with me so I can read more of it. It's compelling. Very compelling.
You have been of great help, so yes.
Excellent. I could barely put it down. Farewell.
You take care. Mycroft, here to buy a book on fraternal dysfunction.
Oh, speaking of the crown, perhaps you can help us with another
I'm all ears.
For your eyes only.
A wasp's nest. They might attack if someone draws too close or are otherwise provoked. Much like London itself. Royal Berkshire Regiment. They had it tough in Afghanistan. His face and neck are swollen, and I can see wasp stings all over the skin. Only his right arm was functional. His left arm was paralyzed in capital M, signed by someone else's hand. The spyglass was positioned to watch the windows of the embassy across the road. A map of possible routes taken from the embassy. I thought only Sherlock was capable of this kind of deduction. I'm sorry, I have bad news.
Please do not tell me.
No, nothing suspicious. It was just an unfortunate...
Another sinking near Scotland. By the Strand for all the details.
Holmes, I have the translation. Barnes will... Sherlock, what is it? I bore witness to the same events that you did. Well, shall we be off?
Yes, of course. You can... The door won't budge. Ouroboros, a snake eating itself. An ancient symbol of eternal renewal. Fresh marks, something scraped along the stone. This door requires a very specific key. An old cannon, probably rusting here since the 16th century. Where did the shirt come from?
Holmes, look, there's a body here.
Not just any body, it's Ashmat.
The body is still soft to the touch. He died recently.
Oh, his eyes are gouged out. Scratches, bruises, and stabs, all self-inflicted. A broken chain, something was attached to the end. The infamous curved dagger. It's tied firmly to his hand.
His body succumbed to all those wounds.
This branch was recently broken. The wood is still green. A human-sized imprint. Someone fell on their back. Whatever Ashmat had secured to his chain, he lost it here. Scratches. This medallion saw frequent use. Interesting occult pattern.
What drove him to this dreadful act?
I fear we are about to see for ourselves. This vessel is covered in dried blood.
Oh, I get it. We need fresh blood. And no, I'm not volunteering.
Fear not. I think Ashmat can help. Do you have anything to hold blood, Watson?
Fine. Take my flask. The lever doesn't want to stay on its own.
Watson, hold the lever for me. I must investigate.
Holmes, watch out! My lever went back up.
The doors, Watson! Hold the doors!
Ah! We're trapped! Now what?
Look around. There must be something we can use. Those holes seem to have a purpose, but I won't risk my arm to find out what. Be ready for anything, Watson! It's all right, Watson. It's merely a chest with coins and a dagger, made of obsidian by the looks of it.
It's ancient, though still working.
Use these with care. Let us be the first adventurers to raid a tomb without destroying it. Terrific. Now, onward before they close again.
Let us hope our paths converge, Holmes. Holmes, speak up!
Please, John.
Holmes!
Help me.
Holmes!
Please, John.
Holmes, speak up!
Please, John.
Holmes, speak up!
Please, John.
Keep talking!
John, I'm falling!
Holmes! Holmes, come on, wake up! Careful, Holmes.
Yeah.
They are all entranced, captivated by the light of the lens.
Sherlock, don't touch it. We still don't know what it is capable of.
The base appears to rotate.
Hands off, Holmes. We have no idea of its purpose.
Black, metallic, and with a characteristic hue, obsidian yet again. The sheer form of it, the color, it makes me feel uneasy. This material feels very sturdy. It would take an enormous effort to break like that.
That's it! You did it! The lens broke!
John, the worst... At least this awful mask is breathable. Her chest is moving fast. She's hyperventilating. Check her pulse, can you, Watson?
As expected, the pulse is elevated, but within normal limits.
Stop there, shipmates! A storm of...
Watson, you killed him!
I didn't have a...
I know this company. They make Fresnel lenses, essential for any modern lighthouse lantern. Hey for padding. They didn't want their cargo damaged. They modified the gallery and watchroom. It seems they have placed beam emitters all over the main gallery. Khalid lenses are placed inside the lantern room. One moment, Watson. I'll redraw this blueprint.
Look at them all. We have to help them.
Watson. You cannot bear witness to anything, Lord Rochester. You are something beyond.
But so familiar. Yes, I...
It's completely broken. Something is missing. Interesting. This could prove useful.
What is the point? What are you hoping to achieve with all this slaughter? I'm afraid that it will cost me my...
You truly believe it? It's real. Maybe your god is unstoppable, but you are merely a man.
Apologies, did I rouse you?